Konnichiwa and welcome to episode 23 of the Leadership Japan podcast, and I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and much more importantly, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. Today's topic, selling services in Japan. You can't touch, hear, smell, see, or taste it. But please buy it. This is often the dilemma with selling services. Japan adds a few additional challenges just to make it more character building. The service sector constitutes over 70% of Japan's GDP, so it cannot be ignored. What are some of the local characteristics we should take into account when selling services? The buyer we deal with is rarely a purchasing specialist. In Japanese companies, positions are rotated through the company to produce generalists. Promotion is based on age and stage, progressing along an automatic escalator system. Purchasing specialists are rather rare in the service sector here in Japan. Training in Japanese companies is usually focused on OJT, on-the-job training, so that the limitations of the past are preserved for each successor generation on into the future. Not a great look. Your buyer counterpart usually has a university degree, but invariably majored in varsity club activities, arubaito, that is to say part-time jobs, and having a good time rather than studying. Combined with the on-the-job environment, the OJT environment, this does not produce individuals looking to be innovative or risk takers. If you are a new supplier, then despite all the wonderful things you would bring to the client, your buyer counterpart definitely locates you in the risk category. If you have no track record here in Japan, all your claims are considered doubtful. Long experience has taught your counterpart that the best way to make sure there is no risk is to do nothing. Buying your snappy services is counter to that idea, so your ideas are not that attractive. Unlike in other countries, consulting services in Japan are often not considered something the buyer should pay for. It is thought to be a free service. This is a bit daunting if this is part of your revenue stream and you have to give it away. Consulting companies here run into this regularly and have to adjust their thinking about their offerings. Often the most difficult competitor is apathy about using your service. The need to introduce something new or to change what they've been doing is not strong enough to advance the conversation. A second strong competitor might be an internal team already providing part of the service offering. They fear for their jobs, so do their best to keep you out, even though what you bring to the client would improve the competitiveness of their operation. A third potential competitor may be the existing supplier. The trust has been built in the relationship over many, many decades. Japanese companies generally prefer the devil they know to the one they don't. With such a set of intangibles revolving around the service offering, the capacity to apply any leverage and wedge your way in can be challenging. Unhelpfully, the buyers are moved every few years as they rotate through the various positions in the company. That person you have educated about the service you provide and who's been buying gets moved and replaced by someone who has their own networks or who wants to do things differently. Neither of these options involves you, unfortunately, and so you have to kiss that business goodbye until the next rotation. Of course, the reverse works in your favor, sometimes as Mr. or Miss Rude and Unhelpful gets shunted off elsewhere and someone useful turns up. On balance, though, the moves are usually more painful than helpful. Depending on the size of your operation, the media in Japan may be something you can use to get the message about your service out there, or it might just be too expensive. Larger companies have better leverage opportunities than small operations when it comes to haggling over the ad price. Establishing brand awareness relies on sustainability. Spot activities may work, but usually water on rock continuity is what is required here in Japan, and that is expensive in this country. PR may be a better alternative. You might think that improving your sales effort is the answer to overcoming all these character building challenges I've listed. Sadly, your own sales team may also be poorly skilled and poorly led. Very few salespeople are properly trained, and if on-the-job training has been their total curriculum, then they will likely be underperforming. If you have inherited them, you probably expected them to know what they're doing and that their sales manager is competent. That is way too generous, I would suggest. It might be a good time to audit the team and just check those assumptions. Dale Carnegie Training Japan, we do a lot of sales training across all industries, including services, and often the foreign company president struggles to understand why sales are not satisfactory. The answer is usually the salespeople have relied on relationships and brand to make the sale rather than applying any sales acumen. They're Japanese, so they know what they're doing, is the thinking. Well, good luck with that one. You can't control the cost of media, the rotation of generalists through various positions, the risk aversion of buyers, or what your various competitors are doing, but you can control what you are doing. Take a cold, hard look at your sales manager and your sales team and really dig into how they are approaching the sale. You may be very surprised. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan podcast. If you would like to access more great insights and information, then go to japan.dalecarnegie.com.